So here, if this square is not given, suppose, then this sum is very easy. Just write here plus 1 minus 1 in numerator, separate the base for 1 plus log x and 1, and then solve that. Sum is very easy then. But as here square is given, think how we can solve this. If you know some method which we can apply here, apply that method. Or here we can use method of substitution. So here log x write as sum t. So write let log x is equal to t. So here we can write tt. But what about dx? We have to convert this into dt. Now here we can use property of log. We know that if log x is t, then we can write x is equal to e raised to t. That is definition of log. E is what? Natural base. If your base is not given, that is e. E is irrational number and log of e is what? 1. So here if log x is t, we can write x as e raised to t. So now differentiate this, and therefore we can write dx is equal to e raised to t dt. We know that derivative of e raised to x is same e raised to t. So apply here. This will become dx is equal to e raised to t dt. So now this I we can write as log x is t upon 1 plus log x, that is t whole square, dx is what? E raised to t dt. Now how we can solve this sum? We know integration of u upon v? No. We know integration of u into v. So for u into v we can use this part, but this part is given. So that is not possible, and we don't know u upon v. So how we can solve this sum? So again same, read this properly and think which method we can apply here. Now if e raised to x is given, or here e raised to t is given, so if e raised to x is given, is there any formula which we can use here? There is one theorem, integration of e raised to x in bracket fx plus f dash of x dx is equal to e raised to x fx plus c. Right? So what is this formula exactly? We want first e raised to x. Okay. Now in bracket we want some function fx plus derivative of that, that is f dash of x. Then answer is what? E raised to x into this function fx. Proof is given in textbook. This is one theorem actually. So here we can use this theorem, or you can say formula. So write first e raised to t. But then we want two terms. One we want function, and second we want derivative of that function. So is it possible to write here as like f of t plus f dash of t? So think on this. As here 1 plus t is given and in numerator t is given. So write here plus 1 and minus 1. That means add and subtract 1. So we can write this as 1 plus t minus 1. So with this plus t we write plus 1 and minus 1 upon 1 plus t whole square into e raised to t dt. Now for this 1 plus t you can write bracket. So like suppose this is a and this is b. For this separate the base. So we can write as 1 plus t upon 1 plus t whole square minus 1 upon 1 plus t whole square. You can write here bracket. This is e raised to t dt, that is same. So now there are two terms which we want, f of t and f dash of t. So here first simplify this. 1 plus t and 1 plus t square, that means x upon x square. We can cancel 1x. So remaining part is 1 upon 1 plus t. 1 plus t get cancelled. Minus 1 upon 1 plus t whole square. And this is what? E raised to t dt. E raised to t we can write here first. Don't write outside the integration because t is there. That is not constant. Now see which is f of t and which is f dash of t. So suppose this is now f of t. So let f of t is 1 upon 1 plus t. Now differentiate this. So 1 upon 1 plus t we can write 1 plus t raised to what? Minus 1. So now differentiate. So f dash of t is what? What is derivative of x raised to minus 1? That means x raised to n. So derivative of x raised to n is what? N into x raised to n minus 1. So here n is what? Minus 1. So n into 1 plus t raised to what? N minus 1. That is minus 1 minus 1. Minus 1 is already given. N is minus 1 and this minus 1 right here. So this is minus 1 into 1 plus t raised to minus 2. So minus 1 upon x raised to minus 2. How we can write? X raised to minus 2 we can write 1 upon x square. So 1 upon, if you write, that becomes plus. So 1 upon 1 plus t raised to 2. This minus sign is there. Minus 1 upon 1 plus t raised to 2. Check here. This is given here. So this is what? Our f dash of t. That means this sum we can write as, say this is I here. So from 1 we can write as I is equal to e raised to t in bracket. This is what? F of t plus now this is what? F dash of. So now e raised to t is what? X and t is what? Log x. So our final answer is what? X upon 1 plus log x plus write c, that is constant of integration. So हमें याद रखना है कि हमारा क्वेश्चन x में है, हमने log x को t माना है, बट आंसर हमें फिर से x में लिखना है, अदरवाइज 1 मार्क जाएगा, क्योंकि क्वेश्चन जिसमें पूछा है उसी में हमें आंसर लिखना है। ये बात याद रखने के लिए हम फिर से देखते हैं डायलॉग ऑफ अमिताभ बच्चन।
सवाल जिस जवान में किया जाए, जवाब उसी जवान में देना चाहिए, नहीं।
सो हमें याद रखना है कि हमारा आंसर उसी में चाहिए जिसमें क्वेश्चन पूछा है, उसी जुबान में, मतलब यहाँ पे एक्स में।